Welcome to Selling on Giants. I'm your host, Mr. Will, and today we're diving into one of the most powerful tools for Amazon sellers right now, video. Joining me is Rob Wiltsey, founder of Video Fresh, a leading production company that has helped manage some of the world's biggest brands and sellers on Amazon, creating high-performing video content. Rob has also founded Future Foundations AI, where he helps businesses integrate AI-driven solutions. In this episode, we'll talk about the mistakes to avoid when creating video, how to make your content stand out, and why you can't outsource the soul of your brand to AI. If you've ever wondered what makes a video actually move the needle on Amazon, you're going to want to stick around for this. Let's get into it. Key takeaways from the high performing Amazon videos in the age of AI with Rob. Video remains the number one way to earn attention on Amazon. Movement around storytelling, sound, and emotion drive better engagement than static content. Most brands underinvest in content strategy. They obsess over ad campaigns and targeting, but neglect the creative itself, often leaving conversions on the table. Long tail keyword intent should shape video creative. If shoppers search for ice pack for shoulder, your video should show someone using it on their shoulder. Relevance drives clicks and drives conversion. A proven methodology beats random testing. A/B testing helps, but without a structured creative process, even the winner might be ineffective. Rob and his team build video funnels at all stages of the customer journey. Don't outsource the soul of your brand to AI. Generative AI can speed up workflows, but if misused, it becomes AI slop. No authenticity or emotional pull. Human touch will become more valuable in the age of AI. As competitors flood the marketplace with generic machine made content, AI slop, storytelling is going to stand out even more. Onboarding with Video Fresh is highly collaborative yet efficient. We discussed a bit about his mastermind strategy, his road mapping, and his experience in production for inputs on live sessions and ensuring alignment with heavily timed demands and focusing your resource where it matters. For most brands, the top 20-30% of products deserve full-scale production, while the bottom of the catalog can leverage repurposed or templated video solutions. So tune in below for my full interview with Rob, and where we dive into a lot of these different themes. Hey, Rob, thanks for coming on the Selling on Giants podcast. I'm excited to have you in here. Before we jump into the main topic today of creating high performing Amazon videos in the age of AI, I'd love to talk a little bit about your background, how you got here. So, in terms of getting into video production, how did you evolve into founding Video Fresh?
Gosh, yeah, happy to be here. Thanks for having me on. Great questions. So my journey was a little unconventional. I always thought I wanted to be a filmmaker. I mean, if you go back, to my childhood, um, got to make a film, and I always kind of did video production along the way to pay my way through college. In college, I actually studied industrial engineering, which is all about process improvement and systems and lean manufacturing and all that stuff. So fast forward to 2016, I went, hey, what would happen if you kind of married all of these uh, principles to create efficient, streamlined, operations and almost like a factory? Like, what if you created a really reliable video factory? It seemed like other video companies weren't thinking about it that way. So I was like, the original thesis is like really simple pricing, really reliable processes, instead of like creating every video as this sort of subjective, creative piece of art, which is great to do, and we certainly are artistic, but it's like, what if you could really distill down what makes a video successful and create a really dialed in methodology? And back in 2016, it was kind of like, there's other companies now, I think that have also adopted that, but back then it was kind of like a new concept a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, so we started doing that. We started doing it with corporate videos and nonprofits and even like educational videos and all this kind of stuff. And then e-commerce kind of found us. Like e-commerce brands kind of we had some e-commerce reach out to us and say, hey, we have all these products. We need videos on Amazon and Walmart and Meta and all these places. And so kind of along the way, we made a full pivot to e-commerce. We're like, hey, this thing we built is kind of best applied to, like, this is the market that kind of is like really needs this at scale. And so yeah, so that's for the last 5 or 6 years, that's been our primary almost exclusive focus as a company, and we're out here in Los Angeles, in Pasadena. We have a studio. We have a phenomenal team, and so yeah, it's a ton of fun.
That's pretty crazy too. And like, what categories do you think you serve the most out of like all your portfolio of clients? Do you find like you get a lot of work around like the pet category or beauty, or is it always kind of a mixed bag depending on whatever's trending there in
Yeah.
Los Angeles?
Yeah, I mean, there's a kind of a boring way to answer that, which is there definitely are types of brands and catalogs that are like a good fit for our services
Yeah.
because we kind of are about that volume. And so like if you have, you can obviously if someone's selling like a napkin holder that costs like $5, you're probably not going to throw a ton of resources at the kinds of video production that we do. So for us, it's like, are you a brand doing at least, a few million a year in revenue on and off Amazon? Amazon seems to be kind of primary for us with our content. And also, is there enough of a is your product at enough of a price point, or is it like something where there's a lot of subscriptions, right? So if you have a $10 supplement, but if you get a lot of subscribers, it's like the lifetime value of that sale kind of
Yeah.
tends to make sense. And so, in other words, it's kind of all categories, but it kind of has to. We kind of work with brands who are getting to that, mid seven figure level in terms
Okay.
of revenue. And we historically have really worked with a lot of brands that do kind of at that enterprise level. And they have a brand. They're sort of a category leader, or one of the category
Yeah.
leaders on Amazon. And so, yeah, and I can talk all about kind of what we do for them, but that's kind of who is a good fit, and kind of
Yeah.
anyone at that size, I would say.
And
Um,
do you
yeah.
guys have like your own built out methodology on how you like run your customers through discovery to make sure you're generating like the most brand aligned material to get whatever outcome they're looking for?
100%. Our process is extremely dialed in, and we've refined it over just like thousands and
Yeah.
thousands of projects. We create about, I don't know, it's between 5 and 10,000 videos a year, I think,
Wow.
right now with our little team. And that's, mostly, even though we're in the age of AI, obviously with the title here, the vast majority is we're still filming with cameras, but
Nice.
increasingly AI's finding its utility in our process, which we'll talk about here. But so it's a lot of filming, it's a lot of editing. But our process allows us to be very efficient, and essentially, like in one day, we're creating. So we kind of charge by the filming day. So like in one filming day, we can create like streaming TV, connected TV, level
Yeah.
video content for between usually between 5 and 8 products in a day. And for each of those products, we're not only creating maybe some top of funnel CTV or STV content, DSP, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Sponsored brands, video ads, sometimes multiple, which we can get into, because there's a really powerful strategy that we have tried over and over that for the sponsored brands video ads
Work really well.
yeah, like listing page content, streaming, premium A plus content, storefront content. So kind of the whole Amazon ecosystem. And then of course, if you're off Amazon and you have your own D2C going on, you need meta content and all that stuff. We also do photography. So
Yeah.
all in one day. So it's like kind of we have this like flat rate sort of by the filming day pricing. And a lot of our customers will be doing 5, 10, 20 filming days with us in a year. So we have a lot of clients that they just need that volume. They need that like enterprise level
Yeah.
service.
Yeah, I know certain categories too, like interior, garden, home and garden, like apparel, because like the seasonal items require photo shoots and stuff like that. So that is pretty interesting, and I think that gives our audience like really good context into your background, Rob. Obviously, you've been in the video game for quite some time, from filmmaking to commercials and advertising, which is kind of what we're talking about today. So let's dive into the main topic of creating high-performing Amazon video ads in the age of AI. And let's just start with the basics. So like, why is video more important than ever for Amazon sellers today?
Gosh, yeah. Video just seems to increase in importance every year, and the reason for that is it's still the number one way to earn attention. Nothing has come along to dethrone video as
Mhm.
the best medium, and there's a bunch of reasons for that. You can tell a story with video. I mean, if we're going to get really like elemental about this, like you
Yeah.
have movement, you have stories, you have emotions, you have music, you have, you can demonstrate a product. You have audio as well, just sound effects and ASMR, and there's things that just draw you in. And everyone's got a little rectangle in their pocket that they
Mhm.
watch. That I think the average person is spending more than 7 hours looking at this thing. It's where we do all of our shopping. That the shape of the screen is designed for a video. I mean, video
Yeah.
is everything.
Yeah.
And yet most people continue to have like most people's videos are a bit of a missed opportunity. Most pieces of video content are not all that they could be
Yeah.
given like okay, we're on this platform and you're trying to sell this product to this customer.
Mhm.
What would the most optimal video be to do that, both from a branding standpoint, from an emotional standpoint, from an informational standpoint, from a psychographic standpoint, like all these things. And when you really start to dig into the methodology, you realize it's really easy to outperform your competitors with their content because
Yeah.
most people are not diving in very deep. Most people dive rather deep into the campaign strategy, like what are the
Yeah.
keywords we're targeting, what are the demographics we're targeting, but that same analytical energy is rarely put into the content.
Yeah.
And that's where we put our energy. So we don't run campaigns.
Yeah.
Our team is solely focused on the content that you're going to run. We work very closely with whoever on your team is going to run that campaign because there are some really powerful methodologies that are data driven where you can create it's all about the anatomy of that video. What should the opening shot be and why? What should the opening text be in the opening shot? How long should the video be? What should the style be? Should it be text driven, voiceover driven? Should it be should it be an explainer video where someone's on camera? Like all of those questions can basically be objectively answered through the methodology that we've put together.
Yeah.
And we've got a bunch of great case studies, I think, that really kind of speak for themselves as to the effectiveness of these things, which I can obviously go into. So
Yeah. But so that's actually really interesting. You kind of went over a lot there, but to kind of summarize it, it sounds like video today drives a lot of views. It obviously drives the most engagement and because like the whole thing's built on it. And if you were going to roll out some video campaigns, you would want to test like a few different at the same time. And like your methodology, it sounds like it's aligned to like finding out what the best click-through rate is and why, and then iterating on different dynamics within something that's like that's shown to be working with the audience.
totally, yeah, yeah. And so what you're describing is definitely like um, what has been the methodology for a long time, even off Amazon, like on Meta and stuff, kind of like split testing, right?
Yeah.
So one way to do it is to split test and just, hey, we're going to create just 10 different creative data points. We're going to create 10 different creatives and just kind of like serve them all and see which one outperforms the best one. And then we're going to take the best performing one, after a month or two of testing, and then we're going to take the best performing one and we're going to kind of iterate that 10 ways or whatever, and you can kind of play that game and inch your way to better performance. And that is certainly better than nothing.
Yeah.
And it does work to a degree. There's only one problem with and this is what most people do that do have a methodology for creative. There's only one problem with that methodology, which is A/B testing tells you whether A was better than B or whether B was better than A, but both A and B could be kind of not that effective,
Okay.
right? But
Yeah.
maybe B is slightly more effective than A or whatever. But you need something in addition to that, you need actually a really tried and true methodology for and a philosophy around every stage of the customer journey. What should the video actually be doing for that kind of customer? And this is what, I'll go around and kind of do talks on this. So there's a lot to go into with it, but it's like split testing definitely plays a role.
Yeah.
I'll give you one example of a strategy that works incredibly well, and I've been talking about it for 4 years now. And most people still don't do it. So you're still going to be way ahead of your customers if you do this, which has to do with long tail details in keywords.
Okay.
So when someone is going on Amazon and they're searching for a product and they're searching for a duffel bag, I've given this analogy a bunch, so
Yeah.
someone has maybe heard this before, but if you're looking for if someone's typing in foldable leather duffel bag.
Hmm.
If someone's going through the trouble of typing in foldable leather, maybe they type waterproof.
Yeah.
Um, if someone's going through the trouble of adding a long tail detail like those things, they are what they are then doing when the search results come up is they are scrolling and they are looking for evidence of those features in the long tail
Hmm.
keywords. And what you find, and this looks super different for every type of product, but what you find is that there are many long tail details in keywords that the little picture on with the white background with the text can't validate certain kinds of things. And that is where your video has a huge opportunity because your video can validate that.
Hmm.
So a good example is there was a company that we had where that we worked with that had a arthritis cream, and they were going to they were we realized that a lot of people were searching arthritis cream neck, arthritis cream back, arthritis
Yeah.
cream elbow. And um what happened was they and by the way, I'm sorry because the reason I'm stalling is because I'm trying to think if I'm allowed to even give this because I'm allowed
You
to
can
say this
keep
because I
it
don't.
vague.
Here, I'm can I if is it okay to splice if I can I go back and pick a
Yeah, you
different.
could go back. I could just have
Sorry,
Marty edit over here.
I don't know if he wants me to give his secret sauce away, so
Sure.
I'm be respectful of that. But I have another example. Okay,
Okay.
so a great example of this is we have a company that sells ice packs.
Mhm.
It's and the company's FlexiCold. And with the ice packs, what you do is you put them in the freezer, and they're these flexible ice packs. And we looked up the keywords, and we found that a lot of people were searching for ice pack for your neck, an ice pack for your elbow, an ice pack for your back.
Mhm.
But none of the other ice pack search results were validating, hey, this one's for your neck, this one's for your shoulder, this one's for your elbow, right? But what we looked, and there's a lot of impressions, there's a lot of traffic of people searching for specific body parts with ice packs. So what we did is we didn't just make one sponsored brands video for that one product. We made the video that we're going to pair up with all of the neck related keywords, and another video that we're going to pair up with all the back related keywords and elbow and so on, and shoulder and everything. So we ran these and we saw a huge increase in click-throughs, a huge increase in conversions. Because if someone's going through the trouble to type, oh, like I need an ice pack for my shoulder. If someone's typing shoulder, they're not just going to click on any ice pack. They're looking for shoulder. Where's the shoulder? So that if that that video comes up and it's someone boom putting it on their shoulder and it's like shoulder ice pack, and they're like, ah, there it is, click.
Yeah.
So it's actually that simple. And yet most of your competitors are not thinking about their content that way. They're just throwing content at the wall and pairing it up with keywords. And what you find is most products, I would say most of the time, we are able to do that keyword research. So we always do that research for them to
Yeah.
identify, hey, here's those opportunities where the video can have an unfair advantage
Hmm.
in this search result based on that search intent. So
Yeah. That's neat. Very data driven. And it makes sense too. Like advertising 101, it's always how relevant are you to whatever search term. So it's no surprise, like in your example, having the neck ice pack or whatever aligns better to people who are searching neck related ailments. So it's really a really creative way that you're using data to help inform that type of content. So on that note, so I understand where video comes in. So for a lot of our listeners, they're going to be brands they're selling on Amazon or Walmart, or even on their website. So before they engage a company like you guys, like what are some data points that are typically helpful? Do you build an avatar for their ideal shopper? Like how should they consider going about a content strategy for video? as they think about their brand and where they are in terms of level of sales on any of these platforms.
Yeah. So we always bring that content strategy to the table. So we don't need like our customer or our clients that we work with to uh know too much about their strategy like that they need. We need to know from them is what's your product and what platforms do you think you want to have video content on? Like how do you think you want to drive traffic to that page and who are you selling it to? Like just like we actually don't need very much because we are so deep down that rabbit hole of content strategy that yeah, we basically the role that we want to play is hey, trust us to ask the right questions to you. You know your products better than we ever will. You know your customers. We're going to collaborate. This is going to be a partnership. We know how to ask the right questions that allow us to write the optimal creative scripts that have the right anatomy that's going to
Yeah.
perform. So we take every project. The first step in every project is called the Video Fresh Mastermind
Yeah.
call. So this is like a big, it's just like you're saying, this is like this big list of questions. Usually, if like I said, for a filming day, for doing between 5 and 8 products, this is an hour long call or something like that.
It's not bad.
And an hour and a half sometimes. It's like it is a bit of a heavy lift, but it gives us everything we need to really do justice to these creatives. And we ask about obviously product features and benefits. We also just excavate into understanding like the lifestyle around the product for that customer. I think that's really important that we're not just rattling off features and benefits, but we're conveying a lifestyle. Like the brand has a vision for the life that they want their customers to be living because of the product.
Hmm.
And there's also like an emotional uh core to every product, no matter what it is. Like
Yeah.
even if you're selling like a doorknob, you're like, oh, what's so emotional about a doorknob? Well,
Hmm.
safety, your family, your home is where you spend your life. This is like, the doorknobs also add a bit of a decorative touch or whatever. You start to kind of ask why until you really hit the emotional ground zero, and we want the videos to convey that. So anyway, we also asked about why does a product get returned? What are some areas that maybe customers misunderstand something about the product? Along the way, we ask about the customer avatars, all that stuff, the brand voice, brand emotions. Cool. And then it's like that one touch point, that one mastermind call really gives us everything we need to write all the creatives for the whole day.
Mm.
And then we walk through that on the next call with them and then prep for the shoot. So we're able to really kind of hit the bullseye. One of our goals was like how few touch points, like how little of the brand's time can we take and actually still nail it. So that was like something we really cared about and making the experience feel really smooth. So yeah, that list of mastermind questions is really kind of our um, kind of core to everything we do. And we are ultimately here to say this is what we recommend. This is the video we recommended. 98% of the time, our clients are fully trust us. Like they don't say, "Hey, actually, could we do this kind of video?" Instead, like they really, trust us with those creative recommendations and it's a lot of fun. Like we have these great partnerships with these brands, especially ones that we've worked with for hundreds and hundreds of videos and products and
Yeah.
stuff. So,
That's great. So what do you think like a good video agency does or what do you think a great video production agency does that a good one's not doing? So in
mm.
terms of if there are listeners who are currently trying to vet out good agencies, like what's the difference between good and great?
In my opinion, especially for e-commerce specifically, like in my opinion, you're going to find two kinds of agencies, video, companies that make videos
Yeah.
for your products. Listen for what their motivation is. Are they motivated by the customer's journey in their shopping experience, or are they motivated by creating cool content that they will like to show off because everyone that makes videos likes to make videos? It's
Yeah.
video people that make videos do it for their job and they do it on the weekends for fun. So
Yeah.
like this is a thing that is fun to do. Like video creators like myself included, I love making videos. So I think the biggest red flag that you're probably not going to get, you might not be destined for great performance in your videos is if your video vendor or whatever is just never talking about the customer's vantage point and the customer's experience and why the video anatomy is designed to get them from the top of the funnel to the next step and from this step to this step and then like from the sponsor brands video ad to the listing page like
Yep.
and I'll tell you it is kind of like finding a needle in a haystack to find a video company that is like energized and motivated
Yep.
by the customer's experience. I think agencies that kind of do the campaigns, obviously that's one thing, but the creative content teams,
That hard.
it's a little hard to find because and to be honest with you, it's like finding needles in a haystack for me to hire people, like to hire the right people as well. So I know I'm very keenly aware of how hard it is to find those people because
Yep.
it's I could have 50 people apply for one of our jobs that create beautiful videos, but I can tell they are not motivated by what we need to be motivated by, which is this video has to perform, and you got to leave your creative itches at the door. That's not
Yeah.
why we're here. We are here to be tactical about our content to get results. So,
Results oriented, aligned to the customer. I like the shopping journey. So for any of the brands who are considering an agency, there's a lot to consider, but it sounds like a keen understanding of your customer and then how you're demonstrating your unique selling proposition. And you guys can help with a lot of the creatives. Where does AI come into this? So how do you guys use AI? How should brands be considering AI as they consider their content strategy?
yes, great question because I know it's in the title of the episode here. So we
Yeah.
talk about AI. So we are in a huge revolution right now in terms of what's technologically possible with video. So this is totally like shaking up um, my workflow and everyone else that I know that's doing video. And it's just kind of getting started. And I think that we're in a hype cycle right now where brands are, and we've been way ahead on AI. So like we've delivered our first actual paid fully AI video project back in 2023, which
Wow.
feels like forever ago. It's like
Yeah, that's
uh,
crazy.
about almost over a year and a half ago now. So we've been very ahead on it because the second I started to see some of this technology rolling down the pipe, I kind of knew what it meant. I knew, wow, this is going to really change potentially like the workflows for e-commerce brands. Um, so there's a bunch of misconceptions about AI videos right now, and by and large, it seems like, especially for the brands we work with, which are like a bit more established or a bit larger, this does not seem to be shaking up much of anything with them. Partly because the old way, but like with cameras and lights, right? And actors, we are so like cost effective with those videos anyway that we actually can't offer AI videos for any cheaper than that when they
Yeah.
do a full day because it's already such a great value because sometimes we're delivering 20 or 30 video deliverables out of a day,
Yeah.
and we're charging about 20 grand to do that. And it's very, very, it's TV quality stuff. So
Yeah.
it's like we're already under $1,000 per video. It turns out that creating here's my take on AI is AI is a really powerful technology that is going to become more and more and more integrated into workflows for everything video related, e-commerce, films, UGC, everything.
Yeah.
But the misconception I'm seeing right now in the marketing space is everyone is desperate to just use AI video for its own sake. Number one, because it's like the shiny object.
Yeah.
And everyone's excited about it. And number two, because everyone's going, oh wow, this is great. AI video is here, therefore we never have to like
Yeah.
we can like either do this ourselves or this should be cheap and quick and fast and easy. And that's where I think the danger is because first of all, because I think it's making marketers lazy, is what
Yeah.
I'm seeing.
I see that.
It's making people lazy because it's making them go, oh, great. Just like how ChatGPT makes us lazy. Oh,
Yeah.
I don't have to like respond to this email now. I can just have ChatGPT
Yeah. Copy,
respond.
paste, and whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But you know that like even if ChatGPT can write a great response email. Some emails, like it's gotta come from your heart. You gotta write it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
there's something missing. Certainly some emails you might as well have ChatGPT write it, right?
Yeah.
And I think what I'm seeing is brands getting a bit they're losing their way a little bit.
Yeah.
Marketers losing their way a little bit because it's like, oh great, now our content can just be a push of a button. Okay, well, if you're a brand, what you should hope is that all of your competitors think that way
Mhm.
because it's just a race to the bottom. Yeah, you've heard the term like AI slop or whatever, so,
Yeah.
probably, right? So AI slop is the most minimum viable. It's essentially the way I like to think about AI slop is it's just lazy
Yeah.
content. It's just like it's like you can push a button and get. So there will always be push a button and get a piece of content, and some of that content is going to actually probably be effective. So it's not that it won't be effective, but I think that what I'm just reminding everybody why videos are good. Like what is it that makes a good video? To me, what makes a good video is it has to make the audience feel the way you want them to feel, and it has to make them understand what you want them to understand. And in my opinion, it's always been hard. It's always been really hard to do that.
Yeah.
One of the hardest things ever is evoking what you want to evoke from a viewer. And it doesn't matter if you're doing it with AI, it doesn't matter if you're doing it with a camera. That's always hard to do. And AI does not make that any easier. It makes it easier to get something, but it does not make it easier to get something effective.
Yeah.
That's the thing, because just been thinking about this for a year. Like, what is there's something missing, and that's what's missing is that if you want to be a brand that, first of all, maybe you don't want to be a brand, right? Maybe you
Yeah.
just kind of want to sling product and whatever. And in which case you
There's a
should use
market
AI.
for it. Yeah, but
There's a
the
market, and
tactics may
you
not
should use it.
apply.
Yeah, it's like one thing, just like do not outsource the soul of your brand to the AI. Like
Yeah.
just don't do that. Because if you do that, um, it will AI has this hollow, vapid
Mhm.
core to it, and everyone knows it.
Yeah.
Like you can be looking at a video that even it kind of feels like wow, like you don't even notice that it's AI, but you can totally tell it's like missing a soul or
Yeah.
something. And I
Yeah.
think that
Something's always off.
yeah, and I think but does every piece of content you make need to have a soul? No, right?
Yeah.
So that's where I would say that where we use AI is where it is it's not where it doesn't compromise the objective of a piece of content. Um so that's the first thing is just this like don't make the presence of AI make you get lazy about your content because our customers are bombarded with more content than ever.
Yeah.
And if it's also just more lazy content, it's probably a big missed opportunity. And you really need to cut. And also, when everyone's zigging, you should zag. Like when everything's AI slop, now what stands out?
Yeah. High quality.
Something,
And that's
something
something
quality, something thoughtful.
I'll add to your point, Rob. It's like my experience being on the campaign side of somebody who has to run these types of creatives. A better quality creative and less of them is more impactful than a larger volume but lower quality. And I can't tell you how often we get, you know, poorly photoshopped images and stuff like that, or video content that was like it's obviously a Canva presentation. There's a lot to be said when you hire actors and actresses and it's shot on location. And what's also nice about from working with somebody who works with an agency is generally I get everything already specced out for the different platforms I'll be advertising. Where if you go with a one-off, an Upwork cowboy, as I like to call them,
Yeah.
you'll have to request like every single size for everything you want to run because they're not thinking ahead of how these videos are going to be used. So just chiming in, and I think you made some really good points. And we have about 10 more minutes. So I do want to talk about working with Video Fresh, what that experience is like for. So I think onboarding for any organization is a world-class experience. So let's just say I'm a supplement or I'm a fitness brand, and Rob, we're going to do some commercials together. What would that experience look like? Take me a little bit through our first 30 to 60 days working together. If budget was no limitation.
Sure. Yeah. So yeah, if a brand comes, a fitness brand or whatever, supplement brand, someone comes to us and says, we need videos, we need ads, we need stuff for our listing page. The first thing we do is we look at, we identify what are the top products, and we look at what are the top priority products. A lot of times people do kind of the 80/20 thing. In other words, like 20% of their products are kind of doing 80% of their revenue, and those are the
Yeah.
ones that are worth the full lift that we're gonna do. Um, and then yeah, we would kind of identify how many filming days it's gonna take to do all of this. Like I said, we have some brands that have literally done 20 filming days with us over the last few
How many
years.
products are pretty typical? Sorry, I didn't mean to, I don't want you
Uh,
to get too far ahead. So you're saying, I have 100 SKUs. I
yeah,
would take the top five, the top 10. Like what's a
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
standard amount to be the most effective with your time and our products?
Totally. Yeah. So I think if we're doing standard production stuff, it's like the usually the top, and you kind of know, I think brands kind of know what their top sellers are, but it's like it's usually the top 20 or 30, maybe 30% of the catalog is what
Okay.
we end up doing. Now, the cool thing is again, with AI, it actually is allowing us to um and not even just AI, but like AI plus, being able to just repurpose content. It is, and like it is better to have a piece of content to run as an ad and on your listing page than no content, right?
Yeah.
So usually what we do right now is the top 30%, 25, 30%, whatever, of someone's catalog, we are eventually getting around to doing a full production, whether that's in our studio or on location.
Okay.
We tend to still recommend standard production for that for a number of reasons. We are at the cutting edge of AI, and people can kind of look up some samples on our website for what we can do with AI. But you will probably get, if you can throw 5 to 8 products at a standard filming day, you will probably get better pricing and a better final product both
Got it.
today with the standard production approach. However, with the bottom 70% of your catalog, I think a good recommendation, especially if it's like kind of low, these are like lower ticket products. We can kind of create really high volume, really intentional, really kind of templated just content that you can run across. Now each of these pieces of creative is just costs a few $100 or
Yeah.
whatever the case may be. And it's still nailing all the content strategy, but it's like, we've all seen these videos. They're like, they're using a combination of stock footage and product demonstration footage. Maybe we're working in some UGC that you may have already into that, whatever. But essentially just taking your pre-existing assets and coming up with what is the absolute most cost-effective way to get an effective video for this
Nice.
bottom 70%, right? So that's what it looks like realistically right now with brands. And so
Okay. So
um,
typically like 6 to 8's a safe number to start with to get like an effective shoot on. They fall in the standard parameters. And then you guys would do the additional research to help with that storyline of whatever the feature, benefit, the feeling, like all that's part of it. So we onboard, we do the questionnaire, then like what's the actual timeline? So how long when a concept's approved, like what's that back half kind of look like?
yeah, like once we get a green light, like, hey, we're getting started, that process, that mastermind process up to the filming day, that's usually about 3 weeks because that's literally like asking all the right questions, writing all the scripts, and then actually like putting the production plan together, booking a location, getting the crew figured out, doing a casting call for the actors, like all that.
Yeah,
We do all
miserable.
that in about 3 weeks, from inception to filming day. On the filming day too, a lot of people come out. By the way, during like they come out, they'll
Oh,
fly out
cool.
across country.
Yeah,
We
check it
love
out.
having we love having clients on set. If they're not on set in person, we can send a live video feed out of the camera all day and they can
Okay.
sit in their office or on their couch, and we really like to say, hey, how did that look? Did you like the way we did that? Did you like the way we were handling the product or anything like that? And
Yeah,
then
that's a lot for some like regular e-commerce brand owners to all of a suddenly be in like a producer role almost, just being on
yeah,
set, if you will.
totally. Yeah, we just have an extremely high client satisfaction, and we didn't always, like years and years ago we were like
Gotta
it's like
figure it out.
juggling so much to try to keep a client happy. One of the big ways is when they're watching everything the whole day, and when we walk them through up front with all the creative, and then on the back end we it's about 3 weeks, by the way, of editing on the back end to get everything. And
Okay.
we also do use about 3 to 4 weeks depending on how many deliverables we have, but we do live edit sessions as well. So
Okay.
on the back end, so it's like we edit everything and then we get on with them and say, let's watch it together. Boom. How did you like it? And we'll have one of our, top editors like on that call. And they'll say, oh, actually, could we, whatever they want to say,
Yeah.
could we swap that shot for the other one from
So
the
it
day?
sounds like a very collaborative experience post-production that you're getting feedback as you run through the
Exactly.
final versions.
Yeah, and so between like the mastermind process, the live like collaboration on the filming day, and the live edit at the end, it's just like, and not only are they super satisfied by the end of it, but it actually wasn't that many touch points
Got it.
considering how much they're getting. So like we're really proud. That's the thing I'm most proud of, I think, in the company is,
Yeah.
yeah, we can create effective final products, and we've gotten that experience because they're busy. We really
Yeah.
care
Yeah.
about our
That's what I was
clients.
thinking. They're hustling for
They're
sure.
hustling, and it's like we want to save them time. And so that's the thing. And our team is phenomenal. Like I'm so much about like vibes, like on the way that our team guides each of those projects, and they just do a phenomenal job. And so and I think that's what we continue to hear with and that's why I think a lot of our lifetime value with some of these clients kind of speaks for itself. And that's what a lot of them will say is like, you know, it's like they come for the videos and they stay for the vibes, the
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
And I think that's what our team just does great at. So
That's awesome. Well, thanks for sharing all that. I got one more section to close it out, but I guess before I do, any closing words for sellers who are considering video, they're considering investing in video, or they're running video now and they're trying to get better output. Any final thoughts before I ask you our last question for the day?
yeah, so I guess like final advice would be, again, with all the AI stuff and everything going on, don't get caught up in trends or in technology or anything. Just always go back to first principles, that like what is your customer looking for? Why do they buy your product? And at particular moments in the shopping journey, what do they actually need to know? You don't need to overly educate them at the top of the funnel. If it's a CTV or a DSP video or whatever at the top of the funnel, they don't need to be educated. All you need to do is make mention of your product, show a little bit of lifestyle, and invite them to click through to learn all about it, right? Things like that. When you're at the sponsor brands video level of the journey, it's also kind of not about over educating them. It's just about proving relevance to their search, especially long tail details of what you know your customers are searching for. On the listing page, go crazy with education. Have a 5 minute video. It doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
That they clicked on the video, they clicked on the link, and then they went and navigated to the video section. And the reason they did that is they are like, educate me, like tell me everything about this
Yeah.
product. So then they learn whatever they feel like they're missing, and boom, they go to the buy box. So that's like the super broad strokes of like just audit whatever content you're doing, and those are our tried and true methodologies that just seem to really perform. So
That was solid, Rob. And what I hear too is like there is a messaging and a presentation to each stage of that funnel. You cover DSP being top, and then sponsored brand, you're in market, and then product detail page is time to close that and turn into a sale. And obviously, there's different messaging and ways to get that across. And that's why working with the video agency makes a lot of sense. This was super informative. I learned a lot today about video. I don't do the creative side as much, so like I really admire. And what I noticed about professionals I work with, they have a methodology. Generally, they're building use cases, they build personas, and they use data to back it. And it sounds like you guys are doing a lot of that at Video Fresh. I like to have my guests pull out their crystal ball and make a prediction about e-commerce in the future. And I'm going to make this one a little different for you, Rob. I don't want to talk about AI because we already kind of dove into AI in
Yeah.
its place. But I think a fun question to have you answer is what role will authenticity and storytelling play as competition intensifies in video marketing?
Ooh, I love this question. Okay, and I will kind of lean against AI a little bit for this answer because obviously AI is almost synonymous with the future at this point. It's just where
Yeah,
everything's heading.
yeah,
Here's what's going to happen. Here's what I think is going to happen. And this is my
yeah,
hot take. I think that we're in a mode right now where when it comes to authenticity, right? So much of our experience with brands, our experience with content, our experience with e-commerce is going to just be so AI driven that my hot take is that that is going to actually put a premium on anything with a human touch, anything with authenticity. I think again with like I really believe when everyone's zigging, you zag. I think that brands that kind of like understand that when if it's kind of like it reminds me a lot of the more that everything is like processed food, right?
yeah,
Like everything, the
yeah,
more that we have fast food, the more that we have everything in, free, microwave food and, kind of rinse and repeat kind of restaurant food. What do the highest quality places have? What does Erewhon have? What does like Michelin star restaurants have?
yeah,
None of it's processed. It's all real. It's all organic. It's all farm to table, right?
yeah,
So it's all authentic. I think what's going to happen is the more that the world goes artificial with content and with branding and with experience, um, and with customer service, like everything's like you got
yeah,
Rufus now, you got all this stuff. That is going to make anything with a human touch extremely desirable. And
yeah,
I think that, and you can be sure of that, right? And that's not something I hear people talking about right now because everyone's just rushing to the AI thing. And obviously,
yeah,
I'm very forward on it. But I also recognize, I think what's going to happen is the dust is going to settle, and the human touch is not going to go away. It's going to be something your customers want. So think about how you can give a human touch to your customers. Not, I'm talking way beyond content. Just
yeah,
how can your customers, when they engage with your brand, a brand is something that is rooted in human emotion. That's what a brand is. And it's about to get real stale out there with the more it gets artificial. And that could be your big opportunity, I would think. So,
Brands have souls, just like people. It's what you put into it. My organization, SOG, you're very conscious of what you put out and that you're representing your brand properly. So I can understand how a lot of entrepreneurs trusting somebody like you, Rob, and Video Fresh puts a lot of faith in your guys' hands. And really great answer. Thanks for that, Rob. And thanks for joining us on the show today. Before we wrap up, can you let our listeners know where they could find you and if you have anything fun and exciting coming up?
ooh, yeah, you could find me on, videofresh.com, videofresh.co, either one, is
Yeah.
our website. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm always kind of posting on LinkedIn, Rob Wiltsey there. I'm going to be at Accelerate in just like a couple weeks here. Are you going
I
to?
am going. I will see you
All
there.
right. Cool. Yeah. So that super looking forward to that. We see tons of clients and agency partners up there too. So hope to connect with everyone up there. So
Awesome. Well, Rob, thanks for being on here. And everybody, thanks for joining us.
cool. Thanks.
That wraps up today's episode of Selling on Giants with Rob Whitley. We covered the do's and don'ts for Amazon Video, how AI is changing the creative landscape, and why authenticity is still the ultimate differentiator. If you want to learn more about Rob and Video Fresh, check out the links in the show notes below. And don't forget, listeners of this podcast get a 10% off with your next Video Fresh project. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to follow, subscribe, and leave us a review wherever you're tuning in to Selling on Giants. We will catch you next time.